Should you replace your old Ninja Stay Sharp knives for the new Ninja Stay Sharp knives? I have that question in my head too. So I've bought the new ones and we're going to find out. Let's get these unboxed and let's get them reviewed. Let's go. And welcome back to the channel, everybody. One air fryer too many. And like I've just said, I've had these Ninja knives now for nearly 2 years. You can find my 18-month review just here, where I look back at if these were a good buy. And spoiler alert, yes they were. 2 years on though, I thought I want the full one piece, the one tang knives. These came up on offer on Ninja and I thought, you know what, my wife loves these knives. I'm going to move these out of the studio into the house. So these now are going to live in the house and the new ones are going to live in the studio. So we're going to get these unboxed. We're going to see what they're like on weight distribution, sharpness, the size of the block in comparison to the old ones, and are these worth spending your hard-earned cash on if you already own a set of Ninja knives. Right, let's go. This coffee was also made in the Ninja coffee machine, which I did buy. Again, head over to that video from a couple of weeks ago as well. It's a long one, but for someone who's not a barista, I'll walk you through the whole process. Okay, so I'm just going to move all these out of the way. Got a little tape measure ready for measuring the size of the block in comparison as well. And it's not surprise, surprise, we have got classic box in a box situation. And there we go. Looks pretty sexy, that box, doesn't it? The packaging. They know how to get us, Ninja do. Right, let's get straight in. Right, okay, so when I open it up, it's got a little instruction manual, and we have got what's in the box, bit of paper basically, in some different languages. Then let's lift this out. So they reckon that these will stay sharp for over 10 years. Fingers crossed. Right, so we have the knives in this box and we should have the block in this box. The rest of it's just bolting. Okay. Can already see an extra logo on this one. A little bit slimmer as well at the top. So does stick to the bench. Right, let's get this open. And in fact, I'm going to move you in so you can see this as I open the knives. You can see how they come and we can get them in the knife rack. Okay, let's try that again. Right, okay, so to start with, and this differs from the other set, I have a set of Ninja scissors. Now, I've got a set of Victorinox that makes Swiss Army knife. I've got a set of Victorinox scissors. These, if I was blindfolded or I didn't see the Ninja logo, I would pretty much say these were the Victorinox scissors. They are identical, apart from this little black bit on the top. Right, so this goes in this hole here at the front for your scissors. Next, we have the little paring knife. Very nice. And again, we're going to have a look at weights and stuff in a minute. So I'm going to put this in the bottom slot there. Next, we have the little 9cm utility knife. So I'll just take the protective end off, and that can go in the next slot. Right, then now to the business end. So next we have the carving knife. This is a 20cm carving or slicing or meat slicing knife. So let's put that in there. Then we have another 20cm knife. This time it is the serrated blade of the bread knife. And finally we have the big show of the set. We have a 20cm chef's knife. Look at that. And when I'm saying one piece, full tang, this whole thing is made out of one piece of metal. Okay. So if I get the other original Ninja knife next to it, you'll see you've got all the blade here, and then it goes thin because the handle is then riveted to it. Right, let's get this in the block. I'm going to move the package in and we're going to see if these are as good as they look. So you may remember, if you have watched the unboxing video of this, as an ex-professional chef, knives are a massive thing. You know, it's the tool of your trade. And I'm used to global knives generally in the industry, Victorinox and Sabatier, and the main thing you look at is the knife balanced? Now, to my surprise, these original Ninja knives were not spot on, but they were pretty good. For a set of home knives, they were pretty good. So I could balance it just at the end of the handle there, like that. Ideally, I would have liked it to just been a little bit further over, but as knives go, that was not a bad attempt. So we need to see, will these be the same? Ooh. Now, the handle itself, just looking at how nice it is to hold in comparison. I would say these look nicer, but for hand feel, the original ones feel nicer in the hand. The blades are exactly the same length. So let's see if this one is as balanced. Let's see if I can take it a bit further to where I like it, which is right at the end. Ooh. Not quite, but it is, they are, I would say, slightly better balanced than the original set. Very, and I'm talking very slightly, but to be fair, look at that. Pretty good really, considering these are one piece. Now, let's have a look at the paring knife. I'm guessing this isn't going to be as balanced because, let's face it, the handle on the paring knife compared to the blade is massively out. So let's see where that balance is. About there. So actually not too bad for a little paring knife. Not too bad at all. So just at the end of the Ninja is where that's balanced. So for me, the main knife I will use is this chef's knife, and I like to use my thumb and my second finger. So thumb goes that side of the blade, second finger that side, so you actually hold the blade. Then these fingers wrap round the handle and you just tuck this one in the top. And generally that's how most industry chefs will hold a knife. It's just more comfortable for using something like this all day. And actually I think you could probably get away with using this all day. In fact, let me go and get one of my global knives out of my chef's box, and let's actually see how it compares balance to one of them. Right, so I've actually got a Victorinox and a global knife. This is like your starter chef sort of Victorinox knife, and this is, I think I've made it as a chef. I'm going to buy a global knife. Right, so let's have a look. So Victorinox knife, boom. Even for this one, it's right at the end of the handle, exactly where I want it balanced. Spot on. Right, global knife. So again, right at the end, so as the handle tapers in, boom. So again, personally I'd like this a little bit over. So out of all these knives, what have I come to the conclusion of? That the cheapest knife here probably is the best balanced knife, which is the Victorinox. But at the end of the day, they do make Swiss Army knife. They are a really good knife to buy. Victorinox, yeah. This knife is about 28 to 30 pounds to buy on its own, whereas this global is what, best part of 180 to 200 just for this knife. So yeah, I'll leave you to decide on that one. However, I just wanted to show you how these Ninja knives, because they're, you know, they're not aimed at chefs, they're aimed at home cooks. I just wanted to give you a realistic view of how they do stack up to professional knives. So I would say a pretty good job really. And I would say that the new Ninja, obviously they're trying to hit the sort of global look. I would actually say that these are comfortable, or more comfortable to use than the globals, because the global handles taper quite a lot, and using them all day you do end up with quite a sore hand using the globals all the time. So actually, you know, the Ninjas are pretty good. So what Ninja say is you should not sharpen these straight out of the box. You need to use them for at least 2 weeks. They come chemically sharpened. They are razor sharp, okay? I'll show you, I'll do some chopping in a minute to show you how sharp they are, and we'll test how sharp these still are in comparison. It does though say that you should sharpen them once every 2 weeks by placing the knife, I'm not going to do it now because they are brand new, placing the knife into the holder, which I'll do. Okay, until it locks in like that, and then the handle at the side, you run this up and down 10 times, so up and down 10 times. Then on the top, push that down and it releases the knife. Then you need to wash it because it will have little bits of burrs of metal, tiny ones. Don't go chopping straight through your food, otherwise you're going to cross-contaminate it. One thing I do like compared to the old one is the knife block looks a little bit sleeker. It's a little bit taller, the bit where you sharpen it, so you've got slightly more range on the sharpener, even though the blades are still the same, so that actually doesn't make too much of a difference. I like the fact they've included a set of scissors and somewhere to actually store them, and I really do like the look of these knives in comparison. It is really important as well, guys, do not put these in the dishwasher. Yeah, it's carbon steel, it will rust and ruin them. Hand wash only, bit of hot soapy water, and then maybe some hot water or sanitizer over the top at the end. Don't put them in your dishwasher. Right, knife block height. Okay, so this one is 31 centimeters compared to the older one of 29 centimeters. However, the knives come to 32 centimeters on this one and 31.5 on this one. So although the knife sharpening bit on this one is higher, the overall height of the knife block is lower by 0.5 centimeter on this one. The width of the knife block is 12.5 centimeters on the new one, and it is 14.5 on the old one. So this new one is going to take up much less room on your countertop as well. Then front to back, so from the furthest to, I'll go to the end of the knife, 33 centimeters. And the old one is 36 centimeters. So they have thought about how much room this takes up, because let's face it, it does take up a fair bit. So a little bit more compact, but you've also got the scissors. Right, price point. So I paid for the original set. I bought them off QVC, not from Ninja, but from QVC. And at the time I paid £108 for them on offer, which was an absolute bargain. These still retail for £140, £150 mark in the UK. I bought these knives off Ninja. Normally they're £199. I bought them for £179, so not a massive discount, but still some discount. I paid £179 for them. They're now on offer on Amazon for £169. Link is in the comments as well, if you want to check that out. So do I think it's worth the extra money for the new ones? Let's do some chopping and then I'll tell you. Right, okay, so I've got an onion and I've got an old tomato, a little bit soft, because an old tomato is perfect for testing a knife, because we all know at home, if you've got an old knife, it hates tomatoes. So we are going to start off with the brand new Ninja Stay Sharp one piece, and let's just that is absolutely razor sharp. Right, nearly 2-year-old Stay Sharp. not as sharp. Now, it could be because the wife's been using it. So let's give it a clean. Okay, and then I'm going to put this in and ten sharpens. Then let's give it a wipe. Let's see, has that brought this knife back to what the new one is? You know what? That's not bad at all. That is not bad at all. It definitely isn't as sharp as that, and I could probably easily get this sharper using a traditional steel sharpener, but for the purpose of this video, that has done the trick. So you can see how sharp these new ones are compared to a set of 2-year-old ones. Now I reckon if I put that through a couple more times in the sharpener, that no problem will be back up to the sharpness of this. Right, okay, so let's have a look at the onion. With a quick peel. And again, I've gone for the softest kind of onion I could find in the fridge. Right, let's start off with a slice. So we'll take the root out and then absolutely lovely, no problems there. Then let's do a dice. So for this, let's get the little paring knife out just to demonstrate a bit of a difference. Very nice. Then in, and then I should have used a bigger chopping board and definitely put some under it to stop it slipping. So you can see how nice and fine you can get your chopping with the Stay Sharp knives. Easily as fine as any of the professional knives I've used. Now on the bottom of both of these there is a little trapdoor that you can open, so obviously you can clean any debris from sharpening the knives, and also you can replace the roller as well should you need to. Right, so there we have it guys, a really brief quick overview of the brand new Ninja One Piece single tang knives, kind of versus the old ones. Which would you buy? Let me know in the comments below. Personally, I think the additional £30 to £40 difference between these currently, I would buy definitely the single piece handle. It's not quite as comfortable as this handle, however it will last longer because let's face it, these are one piece, they can't split whereas these eventually will split. I'm not saying anytime soon, however, I've got some global knives in my chef's box that I've had since I was 16 when I started in the industry. Obviously I'm now, well, a lot older than 16, so I've still got some of them same knives going today in my chef's box. It just tells you this type of knife will last the test of time if looked after. I've got no doubt that these will surpass the 10-year life guarantee on the box. So are you gonna buy a set of these? Do you already own a set? Which ones have you got? Let me know, I'd love to hear from you. And make sure you're heading over to One Air Fryer Too Many Facebook page as well. Come and join me over there, and the 10,000 strong group that we've got over there. Come and say hello, stick some pictures of your knives, some of your air fryer cooks on there as well, and I'd love to say hi. So until next time everyone, make sure you're hitting that subscribe notification so you don't miss next week's video. New video every week on a Saturday morning for you to enjoy. So let me know what you'd like to see me chopping and cooking next down in the comments. Right, I'll see you all next week. Thanks for watching everybody.